What we have here is the Husqvarna 525RX. It's a 24.5 horsepower engine, and this thing can cut. I'm going to put a new blade on there just so we can test this out as it would be from the factory. I have put it through its paces. I have some positives. Well, pretty much all of them are positive and one negative that we'll go over shortly. So let me put a fresh blade on, and we'll get to it. So I also have two different blade types here. This is the standard one that will come with the brush cutter. Actually works great. This blade also, you can get a lot of more use out of it by filing down, but as I mentioned, I will just give you a brand new blade so that we can see what it can cut, and just for the sake of the video, what you'd be buying. So in our case, we're gonna try and do this with removing the metal brush cutter blade with just the tools that are provided. You're gonna turn to the right and keep this pin in the locking position. Always keep the rubber guard on so that you don't cut yourself. It's very sharp. But if this doesn't work out and you have the 19mm socket wrench convenient and available to you, I'd say you could use that. It's probably easier. There's a hole in the back side, which I'll show you in a minute. And once you put the piece in, rotate the head until it's locked in place. And then we're gonna turn this to the right. All right, don't lose your nuts. You have multiple little pieces in here. Make sure you remember where they go. Face down. Face down. Now I'm gonna take off my old one. You can see it's had a lot of use. Still has a lot of use in it, just as long as you have a bastard's blade, which is a file that you could file down the corners. But for the use of the video, I'm going to show you with a brand new one. So let's first put it in casing so that's safe and it doesn't cut me. It's extremely sharp. It takes around 1 to 2 inch trees. I don't really want to take down. I don't know where the hospital is. So now we're good to go. Lastly, before I show you this cutting, I just wanted to point out that this, for $400, also does come with a weed trimmer. So we won't use that in this video. I'll post another showing you how well this cuts. Comes with a nice plastic cutters, and is very easy to install. You literally take this off, screw it back on, and you're good to go. So 2 for the price of $400. This is the harness that comes with it. You simply just wear it like backpack. Snap yourself in. Put this at you're gonna want to adjust it based on pulling the string here. Essentially, this is where I have it worked out that it fits me nicely. And what you do is you take this little hole, you put in your tool. So now I can maneuver this with one hand, no problem. It's very light, very easy. All the weight's like well distributed throughout my body. I will say the one complaint that I do have is that it's very hard to find this new plastic guard. I want the exact same thing, and I just can't find it. Like I mentioned, I probably put 200 hours at least of use with this thing so far, throughout the entire summer. Use this thing non-stop. And I broke the plastic guard here from the bottom. I don't know if you can see underneath, but unfortunately, I had to like jerry rig it so that it would stay on there to be a guard. I mean, it doesn't prevent it from working. It's just a safety feature, and I've had difficulty finding them. Maybe you have a tip on how to find it. I just don't know about yet. Put it in the comments. Let's see, where we go? Here you'll see the Husqvarna has no problem cutting through a 1/2 inch to 1 inch thick tree branch.
This little tree, I can hardly see it, but this guy could easily be chopped down.
All right, well, you can see we went through a lot of rose bushes. We went through a lot of small branches, maybe a 1/2 inch to 1 inch thick. Really easy. The typical way you're supposed to use it is going straight back and forth. You know, back and forth. The way that I was using it, where you go up and down and stuff like that. I wouldn't suggest it, and I don't recommend it. It's definitely less safe, and it's not the way you're supposed to use this machine, but it's just how I'm using it. I'm not telling you to use it that way, and I suggest you don't. But clearing things down easily, going back and forth like this, will just be able to tear things up, and then you can come back later and pull it back. I was just kind of stomping it into the ground so that you can see around us. It's a good 4 foot wide stretch, about 20 feet deep at least. It took no effort. I mean, I really could have done it with one hand. That was very, very quick. And then now if this is all dead, I'll leave it here for a little while. We'll come back. I'm sure we're gonna drive through here with quads, dirt bikes, whatever, to just flatten it out, and this will be gone. So you can see this is for, you know, rather small things. We have about an inch wide tree over there. You can definitely do that, and it'll cut it down. It's going to put more wear on your blade, and your blade you're just going to have to sharpen a little bit more. But those bigger bushes will come through with the chainsaw. This smaller stuff like this brush is where the majority of our land is. So about like 1/2 inch stuff, even a little bit smaller. But this will eat that up no problem. So overall, it's great. It's $400 from Tractor Supply. It has both the brush cutter and it has the weed whacker blades. So it weighs virtually nothing on my body right now. There's no strain. I could probably do this all day long. I can like move this item with my finger, so that's good. The blades are very, very sharp, so it's definitely something to be careful about. Make sure that you don't have dogs running around the yard while you're doing this, because they can jump in there and that'd be a terrible thing. But looking at the controls, you can shut it off immediately with this red shutoff, but the blade's going to keep turning. It's just going to shut off the engine that's powering the blade. I just shut it off. The blade's still turning, so it is still something to look out for after you turn it off. But another nice feature of this is, so this is the power control, and up here, while you have the power control in, if you lock it in place, it will continue to spin and let you do your job without having to hold this in the whole time. And this has a easy way, so I can, if I'm more comfortable with it down here or to the side, I can just lock into place wherever I feel comfortable really easily. This is my comfort spot because I can control it nicely. And down here with the tools that are provided, you can unloosen these and then move it to the left or right in case you're righty or lefty, and just moving it around to make it more comfortable for the way you're going to use it. It's going to take 51 mix, so that's what your gas is going to be. A few pumps, you're good to go. The air filters down here, you can take it off quickly by unscrewing here. And you see mine probably needs a cleaning, or at least be replaced. But overall, great product. I love it. Husqvarna, I'm definitely a believer now. I will be buying a lot more Husqvarna tools in the future. If you're thinking about buying a Husqvarna 525RX, I definitely would. It was $400. It's convenient for lots of things. Brush cutting, for weeding. It's right in that budget point that it's right between a residential and professional unit. It is a great unit. I will put a link in the description below in case you want to pick up one for yourself. That's it from Split Hour Farm. We're gonna get back to work, and thanks for joining us.